Welcome to the training course about developing a welcome series to introduce your nonprofit organization to your leads and your donors. My name is Jeremy Rice. I'm the founder of nonprofitfundraising.com. And today we're going to talk about how we define the audience journey. We're going to talk about goal setting for these different audiences that you're going to be working with. And finally, we're going to walk you through building your welcome series. Now, if you go to nonprofitfundraising.com/trust, you're going to find some resources there. The resources are actually for a much larger communications course, but I thought that the bonus of you finding all those other resources there would be beneficial to you. And inside the spreadsheet there, that when you click on it, will create a copy on your own local Google Drive. Inside there is a planning tool that you'll be able to use for a number of things. One of them is what we're talking about today, which is creating a welcome series for your organization. Let's talk about your audience journey. The audience journey, it's a series of communications that follow the logical journey of a donor or lead. And so what do I mean by that? The audience journey is the different kinds of communications that you're sending to the people who sign up for with your organization, whether it's a lead gen tool like an ebook or a webinar, or whether it's they made a gift and they gave to your organization and now you want to welcome them well into the organization. And so when we talk about the audience journey, we want to talk about who is your audience. And so this is the different segmentations that people might be in when they come to your organization. So it could be a new lead, it could be a new single gift donor, a monthly donor, a mid-level donor, a major donor, or it could be a very much more defined and detailed segmentation within each of those different kind of broad audience types. We're going to talk about what's your goal, and the goal setting is figuring out what you want to achieve for each of those different segments. And there's different goals in mind. You have a different goal for a single gift donor than you do for a monthly donor. We're going to talk about starting with the end in mind. So starting with uh, those goals in mind when you're developing out your audience journey, and then working backwards to that goal. So why is this important? Bloomerang did a study of real data, and what they found was that if somebody came into your organization and gave a single gift, then the lifetime value of that donor, they never gave again, was on average $47. But if somebody comes in and in those first 90 days, they give you a gift and then they give that second gift, then the lifetime value of that donor is $511. Versus if you look at the data on the chart, a donor who comes in and then gives a gift after 37 plus months, the lifetime value of that donor is $90. I remember one time at a place that I worked, and the marketing manager came to me and he said, we're asking too soon in the relationship with donors. We need to push it back to 9 months. And I said, where are you getting this data? And he said, well, there was a study done, and it was a large organization. I won't name them here, but they'd written a blog post. They'd done a survey of donors, and they asked these donors, when do you want to be asked for a second gift? And so then they wrote a whole article about what the donors said. And so I explained to them that there's two different types of data about donors. There's data that is actually observed, like the second gift strategy here chart from Bloomerang, and there's data that is surveyed. And oftentimes donors will tell you one thing, but when you actually look at how they behave, it's something completely different. And so in this case, it's something completely different. And you want to get to that second gift as soon as possible in order to raise the most money to help the most people. So what are your goals of a welcome series? It really depends on the donor audience, and uh, there could be a number of different things that you want to achieve with your welcome series. You want to welcome a new lead or a new donor. The new lead is someone who's coming on file who hasn't given yet. So perhaps they're signed up for a newsletter, or you've given them an ebook or a webinar or some kind of a premium, and so they're signed up on your list, and you want to be able to welcome them well. You want to be able to create trust with these folks so that they learn to trust your organization. There's opportunities for engagement. So you might want to have something that they can receive, something that can build a relationship with your organization, some action that they can take. For the new leads, you might want them to get a gift like receiving that ebook. For a new donor, you might want to convert them into a second gift. And then finally, with all these folks, you want to gather information. And so, the welcome series goals, really, range by the type of donors. If you add mid-level and major donors to this, then you're gonna see a lot of overlap between these welcome and creating trust and engagement. And so the welcome series, the goals of it, is really dependent on what you want to achieve as an organization, but these are pretty common frameworks for what you want to think about as you're building out your welcome series. Now, when we first started defining an audience journey at one organization I worked with, we literally took Post-it notes and we wrote Post-it notes and put them on the board. And then we started working through, when does an email go in? When do we have a point of where uh, it might break out into different options that a donor or a lead might choose? Now, when you take those Post-it notes and you put them into an actual flow chart, then it starts to look like this, and then you can turn it into actual automation. This is the actual automation from HubSpot at the time. And then what you end up with is this massive flow chart building out to a much more massive automation here within HubSpot. Now, you might look at this and it might freak you out. And it's okay, because what we started with at this organization when I came in was we had nothing. And I started with one email welcoming donors to the file. And then it grew into 2 emails and 3 emails. And then it had an email series just for monthly donors. And then we had an email series just for leads. And so over time, you're going to build out these automations. And so I'm just giving you an example of what it actually looks like in practice for a much more complicated example. But in this, we want to be able to build out your welcome series for your organization. Now, generally speaking, I like to have welcome series 3 to 4 days apart at most, most a week apart. Um, most people, most organizations are sending fewer emails than people could really absorb. And so we want these emails to get through the donor in less than that first month that they're on file. You want to be able to have automation in place. You don't want to be manually pulling people from lists and uploading them and manually sending out emails. You want some sort of automation, and all major email systems now provide some level of automation. And then we want to be able to measure and improve our welcome series. There are many different types of emails you could send. I'm going to walk through 8 here. A gratitude email just saying thanks for joining the list or thanks for giving a donation. An impact story is used to build trust. It tells a story of one person whose life was changed by that organization. A reply back email is a tremendous tool that you can use to gather back uh, information, but more so to show trust with the email providers that they have, like Gmail or Yahoo. When somebody replies to an email from a welcome series, then it really shows Gmail or Yahoo or whoever they're using that they really trust that organization and they want to receive those emails in the future. A survey, now typically, these would be short surveys, 1 to 3 questions, just trying to get a little bit of information, but get engagement from the person that receiving the emails. A free offer like an ebook, a webinar, a tour, an exclusive event, something that is you giving back to the person that's on your list. A lot of organizations use a monthly ask and then a single gift ask because people don't respond to that monthly. In my testing, I've not seen this proven very effective, and so I don't do it. I typically just go right into a single gift ask. So the first welcome series that we're going to talk through is for leads. So for leads, we're going to have a goal of giving them that resource. They signed up to receive an ebook, and so we want them to be able to quickly find and download their ebook. We want to set expectations with them of what the emails are going to look like moving forward. How many emails are you going to send them? What kind of schedule are they going to receive those on? You want to transfer trust to the organization if the lead came from somewhere else. So a lot of times you might find these leads using third parties like email list rentals or social media or an influencer. And so you want to be able to transfer trust from that source to your organization. Next email in a short welcome series. Show the reader what the nonprofit can accomplish. Tell a story. Tell a story of one person whose life was changed because of a donor, just like them, just like the reader. And that helps build trust when they can see a story of someone whose whose life was changed because of the work of the organization. You want to make the reader feel something. You want that impact story to be emotive, for them to have emotions after reading it. After that, you want to build up to. Ultimately, we're going to ask these folks to give a gift, and so when we give them a small activity, a small ask, and they say yes to that small thing, then later when we ask them to do a big thing, then they're more likely to take that action. It also helps engage the reader in the work when you've got a small ask, an activity that really helps them engage. This could be something like write a note of encouragement to one of the beneficiary groups that you work with, or it could be send us a prayer request of something that you need us as an organization to pray for you about if you're a religious organization. The activity here, often the best things that this can be is something connected to your work. And then finally, I want to convert that new lead to become a donor. And so I'm going to tell them a story of someone in need, and I'm going to tell them how they can take an action to solve that need. And we might not convert 3 or 4 or 5%. We might not convert more than that. But those that do convert, they trust your organization. And oftentimes what we're going to see is a quick movement to a second gift from those leads, because they've now learned about your organization. They've developed some level of trust. They've heard a couple of different impact stories. They may have taken advantage of an activity, and now they've given to your organization. Now, if somebody comes on as a new single gift donor, ultimately my goal is to get them to a second gift. And so we want to welcome that new donor. We want to just be effusive with our thankfulness for them. We want to demonstrate gratitude to these donors for giving to your organization. The problem in our industry is that few organizations do this well. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations that don't even thank their donors. And to me, that's sad. To me, it's sad that we're not thanking donors, because I think the stat I heard was something like 70% of donors said they would give a second gift if they were thanked by an organization. And unfortunately, when you go look at studies that have been done, it can be half or more of organizations don't even thank their donors. So be the organization that thanks your donors. Demonstrate gratitude, and then transfer trust. We talked about this with the leads. Transfer trust to your organization. The donor might have come in from an influencer, a radio station, a direct mail campaign, somewhere where they may not know who your organization is. And so use this as an opportunity to tell them a little bit more about the organization and lead into your impact story. The story of showing the donor what has been done with their gift and what can be done with their gift. And so if they're giving to clean water, tell them a story of a well that got put in. The impact story helps build trust with the donor and makes the reader feel something. Makes them feel like your organization is one that I can trust, so that when I take an activity, do an activity with the organization, that it's going to make a difference. And so the activity here is a small task that you're asking the donor to do. And it might be as simple as, introduce us to your friends and family, like us on social media, go download this free ebook or watch this webinar. Some sort of activity that makes them feel engaged in your work and makes them feel a part of your mission, so that they give a second gift. And we talked about how it's vital for a donor to give a second gift within that first 90 days, because that's going to maximize their gifts to your organization. It also helps move people into relationship with the organization and give again and again and again. Donors feel joy when they give to an organization and they see what their gift can accomplish. And so part of what you want to do in this is to help that donor feel joy, help that donor feel like the impact that they're making, it's going to have a huge difference in the life of someone out there. Next, we're going to walk through a welcome series for a new monthly donor. So it's very similar to the welcome series for a single gift donor. You're going to welcome them. They're going to show gratitude to them. You're going to let them know expectations. You're going to tell them an impact story that's going to relate to what their monthly giving is going towards. Here, an activity could be something, if you're a child sponsorship organization, it could be Write Your Child. It could be write a beneficiary just a note of gratitude or a note of encouragement for them and for what they're going through. Finally, you could do a video or another kind of story email here. And in that email, as we close in on the end of that first month, we want to tell people that expectation that there's a second gift that's going to be coming out of your bank account. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to surprise the person that the gift is coming out. Some monthly donors don't realize what they gave to was monthly. And so you don't want them to be shocked when they see it, and you don't want their spouse to be shocked when they see it. And so you want to let them know, hey, a second gift is going to be coming out in a couple of days, and we're so thankful for your support. What you're doing is changing lives, and we want you to know how much your monthly gift is impacting the lives of these people. And so include that in that last email. And maybe that's a fifth email in your series, or maybe that's a part of that fourth email. So how do I start? How do I start building out this welcome series? And I told you earlier when I showed you our very complicated automation that the best way to start is one email. And if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. If you can do 4 or 5 or 6 emails in your welcome series, then that's what you should do. But if you can only start with one email, then start with that welcome and gratitude email. That helps the donor feel like they have made a difference and that you're thankful for their gift because what they're doing is going to change the life of the people that you serve together. Thank you for spending time today walking through how to build a welcome series and how to build out some communications that's really going to make your donor feel connected to your organization and want to keep giving again and again and again so they can feel that joy, so they can make a difference in the lives of the people that you're serving together, and so that you, as a fundraiser, can raise more money to help more people. Take care.